know? And but when he said yes, I'm like, bro, why you hesitate like that? You really hesitated. Like, you had to think about that shit. You sat there silent for a few seconds and you was like, yeah. It just seemed like the elites had a stranglehold on this shit, right? They already had all these shit sewn up. And then Trump is gone now. So you can say that the mandates aren't going to be and the mandates ain't going to, but you should have your freedoms. You feel me? But you're not there no more. You see everything is going backwards.
So what are we even talking about him for then?
I mean, I'm saying, bro, don't people still trust him?
Nah, wait, hold on. That's a legitimate question. Is it not? My nigga, like, hold on. Is that not like? Look, is that not a legitimate question? He's not there anymore.
Right, as the president.
So why does it fucking matter? So why does it matter?
Because he's on television talking about.
There's a lot of people on television. There's a lot of people on television.
They don't have that influence that Donald Trump had. A lot of people on.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish with your bone.
Trump has that influence. Trump was the former president, and he still has people stuck in a plan. He had a lot of people out there on January 6th. Some still locked up for the shit that they did. Ain't nothing being done for them.
So you think the people that still locked up were the ones that were out there for Trump? Or do you think that the ones that were out there for Trump are the ones that got home already and weren't charged with shit? Because the nigga that lives across the street from me was at the Capitol on January 6th. And he's home chilling. Been home 2 days after they took his ass, 3 days after they took his ass. And I watched the FBI take him out. Remember, I sent you the video, nigga.
There's some fighting all that shit, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. So everybody's reason for being there is different, and that's a whole other subject. But everybody's reasoning for being there is different, which is why some niggas are still there and some niggas are political prisoners because they committed an act of political crime. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to motherfuckers who might have got swept up in the crowd or, you know what I mean? But that comes with an investigation. But here's my thing. Now I do have one issue. My issue is this. And I'll just start here with my first issue. My first issue is this. We're just going to skip over the fact that this man said we also created therapeutics. Well, see, that's something that the mainstream media never talks about. All they ever talk about is vaccines. They never make mention of therapeutics. So let's give one up for Donnie. Let's give one up for Donnie. Because the mainstream media never says that fucking word. They never say that word, bro. Never. So what did he do right there? He gave you an option. He also said, I don't think that there should be mandates. I think it's good, but if you don't think it's good, then you shouldn't have to take it. You know what I mean? But you also have the option of therapeutics. Okay? So it bothers me that in itself was skipped over. Now, you did mention the mandates or whatever, but you took that away from him because you said, well, you're not there. Right? So we can't give him that one because, well, you're right. He's not there. Right. But what I'm going to say to all of it is, right, is that when this shit first started, when he said, oh, you know, the China virus, this shit started in China, it was in a lab, da-da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. America fucking hated him for it. America hated him for it. Because why? He thought it was a hoax. And the more this media propaganda machine jumped behind that shit and made it feel like it was something for real, which you and I both know, right? Based on our research, okay? So what was he left to do in that moment? Okay, y'all got the masses caught up in the fucking matrix. Well, these niggas want to give y'all niggas a bunch of hot shots and dumb doses of shit. You understand what I'm saying to you? These niggas want to give you a bunch of hot shots and dumb doses of shit. But now, let's talk about Nasara Jasara.
Nasara Jasara, did y'all hear that?
If these niggas want to go out here and go get that shit,
so
go get that shit.
So be it.
That's more for us. if you want to be a part of that corporate system, if you want to remain enslaved to the Pfizers, the Johnson & Johnsons, the AstraZenecas, if you want to be enslaved to these companies, then please, by all means, continue to do so. But you do have an option of therapeutics where you're not bought into that fucking system. He gave you the option. You see, even if he is the devil, unlike the rest of these devils, he still gave an option. He still gave an option.
I feel you, but you know me, bro. I don't care about that option. You feel me? Because I know.
Of course not. Because as we sit here and we speak of free choice and free speech, free to do whatever.
Of course, we should always have that.
These people have to be given the opportunity to continue to commit genocide. They have to. Look, this is why the voting fraud had to continue to have been let going through. This is why all of this shit had to continue to take place, bro. This is why the bullshit of the fake impeachments and all of that shit. All of this shit is one big movie. All of it.
Of course. And the man that they got to wake people up was one of them all along that sold the lie in the first place.
Of course he was one of them. Of course he was one of them. Who do you get to infiltrate something but one of them?
He's just a character.
Right?
That, I guess you're right.
They all are.
It was all a hoax. He said that shit in the very beginning, right? You said that shit. The China food.
I do believe he is a puppet. I do believe he is controlled. I do believe that he is simply a facial piece. But a facial piece for what? I do not believe, me personally, I do not believe that any longer he is a facial piece for the side of negative, for the deep state. I believe that their best chance was Donald Trump early on to be able to subvert and get inside that elite group of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? In order to be able to gather this information and do all of the things that they were able to do to be able to take them down. This is why well before Donald Trump ever even ran, Hillary Clinton was quoted as saying that if this motherfucker ever ran, we gonna hang from trees. Because she knew that they had let the snake into the hen house, so to speak. We know how they like to sacrifice chickens, so, you know, so to speak, they had already known then. You know what I'm saying? That this nigga had flipped sides. And they had fucked up by offering this nigga, you know what I'm saying, babies and all types of shit. Like, they fucked up. They let him see too much. My opinion. I do believe he's a puppet. But a puppet for who? There's good and bad and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta wait till the movie get a little further, you feel me, to see.
Of course we do. Of course we do, because we all sit there during good suspenseful movies like we know who the killer is, right? And we never have an idea. But time always tells.
Only the people that really can say it know what to do during this time, you feel me? So that's the only thing that's really going to matter, that's really going to tell the time is, you feel me, if the shit stick, if they able to really pull this shit off the way they want to.
Well, let's just look at it at its entirety, right? Do you believe that COVID is real in the degree that they talk about it?
Come on, bro.
Hey, Bliss, I want you to do something for me. I want you to see why Donald Trump ran for president, who actually urged him on. Now, I'm not going to say Bill Clinton told him to run for president, but he told him that he should become more involved in politics. And that was slightly before he announced that he was running for president. So I think they was kind of in cahoots with it, and I think he was supposed to throw it, and he did. And it jumbled up a bunch of stuff.
Of course.
Right. So what are you mad at?
I mean, I'm not mad. I'm just.
Now, I understand. For lack of choice of better words, you dig what I'm saying. Just so you dig what I'm saying. Like what exactly?
You pushing people that it saved lives.
It did save lives, right? It did save lives. You want to know whose lives it saved? All of ours. The fact that he did that, bro. The fact that he took control of the vaccine program and did not allow that shit to carry on into the Biden administration where they had full control of the fucking rollout. Think about the vaccines that got sent to other countries, nigga, and got exposed for what they really were. Huh? What administration do you think that came from? Let's talk about it. What administration do you think sent those? So he did save millions of lives. We got to understand. Remember, this nigga spoke in code his entire time in presidency. He spoke in code the entire time. Right. So we can't look at it just for what he says. We have to dig deeper, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just saying as a whole, us as a collective, we have to dig deeper into what exactly was said. Right? We saved millions of lives. Well, if you look at the construct of what these motherfuckers had planned with Event 201, he did.
I just don't see it that way, bro. Not when you're saying this was going to be a Spanish flu-like event, bro. Nah, you're telling a lie. You're saying that COVID...
The event itself. He didn't say that it was going to be a natural phenomenon that caused the event. Did he?
I don't know. Whatever.
We listened to the 1 minute speech. Did he say that it was going to be caused by a natural phenomenon?
What's up, NBC?
He just said that this was going to be likened. This would have been likened to the Spanish flu.
Listening to some of my brothers debate. We debate all day long like this. I'm just not up there.
Let's talk about the Spanish flu for a second.
So what they talking
about? We're talking about the same government. And when I was playing the fucking Boulay shit, part 5 last night, matter of fact, not even the Boulay shit. I played a syphilis video yesterday.
Yeah, we did
in the morning show.
Video
was that this morning? Might have been this morning.
Yesterday
I don't remember
Blue,
because I get high. But we played a syphilis video in the history of syphilis. Do you know syphilis goes back thousands of fucking years, where Europe tried to blame getting it from Native Americans, like Christopher Columbus brought it back from Native Americans. When that shit actually goes back further than that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The astronomer or the archaeologist or whatever found like 50,000 bodies, my nigga, and like half of the motherfuckers contain syphilis in the bones, which is like the last stage. And this was in Europe. So these motherfuckers have been lying about shit.
My children got animals, so I ain't have to grab nothing.
Showed me last night. It showed me that they were able to isolate syphilis from
all my children got animals.
Something that was plaguing the fucking world for thousands of years.
I got me some land too, so now it's time to buy a bunch of horses.
To black people
to see out.
My nigga, so what is happening now? I'm not putting no credence into nothing any of these motherfuckers say, because I feel like all of this shit was orchestrated. But at the same time, had these people been the ones in charge of distributing these vaccines and coming in like the Trump administration wasn't shit, you know what I'm saying? And we're the ones who gave you these vaccines to save the earth. He had to take that credit away from them. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, he had to remove the power. You understand what I'm saying? From them. Because if they had it, niggas would have been getting them fucking AIDS infected shit that the nigga was getting from the paw and all that other shit.
Happy holidays, man.
Remember, that was those first batches. Those was those first doses. You feel me? So he's damned if he do it. Damn, when you got an entire country that's divided, right? 50% 50% unvaxxed. And this is a division that we all face, right? He's damned if he do, and he's damned if he don't. If he say go get vaxxed, half the country fucking hates him. If he say don't get vaxxed, half the country fucking hates him. But what he said is the vax are good. If you want to go get vaxxed, go get vaxxed. But they're really giving niggas flu shots at this point. You know what I'm saying? They're really giving niggas flu shots at this point. Unless you are down with that pedophilia, that's at this point. Now, a lot of them shit that are being caught up, that's in that trials. A lot of this shit that's being shown to us now, like this digital technology, of how you can read your COVID, you know what I'm saying, and all of that type of shit. This is all shit that we talked about. So this isn't new to us. This is more shit that they're trying to bring out now that we were reporting a year ago, that now they're trying to bring out to continue to scare the shit out of people. Or is the other side, the good side, bringing it out now to show all of us crazy people as right. Only one person's mind can tell them how they feel about that in itself, but I feel like a lot of this information gets leaked so that way the truth can come out, because you can't just put all of this shit out at one time. It's a fucked up movie.
So yeah, it's only going time to tell, bro, if these mandates stick. That's the time teller, you feel me?
Well, at the end of the day, have we seen them stick in Supreme Courts?
Word, that's all I'm saying. You feel me?
Have
So,
we
like
seen them stick in Supreme Courts? Right now in Supreme Courts, they getting fucked up.
They get fucked up.
right.
All of these shits just getting slapped down. Just in Pennsylvania, remember I told you like a month ago, a couple weeks ago, you know, coming out of the Thanksgiving break. You know what I mean? I want to say 2 months ago, the Supreme Court ruled against the mask mandate, saying it was unconstitutional. So Governor Wolf appealed that Supreme Court ruling. That Supreme Court ruling was heard during during the Thanksgiving break or whatever. So when they came out of Thanksgiving break, there was no more mask mandate because the appeal was shot down as well because it's unconstitutional.
It's unconstitutional.
There are a lot of cases that are in litigation from little counties, little schools, you know what I'm saying, little school boards and shit like that are not being reported by the mainstream media, but there's way more pushback to all of this shit than people know.
Yeah, a lot of pushback.
And we understand why that is. Like, I'm telling you something that just happened in my town. Like, they removed them shit and at the Supreme Court level. Not because parents were picket signing. Like, that shit was done at the Supreme Court level. That's done. It's a done deal. And the appeal was heard and it's a wrap. So now it's legal precedent. It's set. So, like Doc Bay says all the time, the power is in the people. What are we doing?
Right.
You know, it don't matter what Donald Trump sit up there and say. It don't matter how good he say they are.
Already.
Are you taking it?
Tell them what Doc Bay
no.
say. Power to people.
So,
Doc Bay in here.
But
I do
Doc
applaud
Bay
him for
in
saying
here.
therapeutics. But they didn't take it because he said to take it. They took it because jobs were saying you're going to get fired if you don't.
Yep. But they have therapeutic things.
Yo,
for
we
that
know
shit.
somebody right
For
here
COVID.
in their family, man. I'm not going to put their business out, but they were just given a fucking mandate. Like, yo, you got to get it by such and such date or you got to get tested every week type shit.
Word, I know that shit coming to me too. I know.
Yeah, they ain't coming my way.
I know it. They already.
Well, it feels good to be a cowboy.
For that. You feel me? Sending us, giving us letters every morning, telling us how to be safe. You feel me? And different little shit like that. You know, telling us why, you know, that shit is beneficial for us. That's like, come on, bro. I don't need this shit at my job, bro. I'm good. You feel me? Like, it's just how they shove this shit in your face, bro. You know, so I hear everything you're saying, man. Like, I hear all that shit. You know, and that's the last glimmer of hope that I give, you know, this motherfucker, bro. But
Don't stop giving the glimmers to him. Let me make that clear. And that's where we keep going wrong. It doesn't matter how much good he does. He can do 1 trillion things good, right? Don't give him glimmer of shit. He's a fucking human being. We got to put the glimmers of hope in ourselves. That's it. I know you know that, but I'm just saying in general. And that's a lot of what could be, you know what I'm saying, taken from here as well. You know what I mean? But I'm not just going to dive all the way in and say that this nigga's deep state, he's a part of them. I'm not saying he's not. But I'm just going to paint a perspective as to where I know for fucking 4.5 years,
Do
5
y'all
years,
think
this
Trump is part
motherfucker's
of
pretty
deep
much
state?
spoken in code where people
Y'all know
think
how
that
I
this
feel.
nigga's retarded and everything that he said or misspelled made sense.
I feel, you know, I feel like all that's true, bro. I feel like all that's true. But I feel like if we don't really take a serious look in the mirror and really stare at this fact that, you know, a lot of the shit that they've given us is absolute lies and it's just not how
Absolutely.
things work. You feel me? And
Absolutely.
Another nasty
that's the time.
person.
You know, we understand that, bro. For what
Y'all
that's
just
worth on
follow
that
folks
level,
around,
we
huh?
understand that. So we make them moves accordingly, right,
Black
in our
folks.
life. You feel me? And the way we
I don't be
think and
seeing
shit
that
like
shit
that.
in white
I'm not
folks'
really saying
dreams.
what I'm saying because of any
But
of
that's
that. I'm
okay,
just
'cause we
saying
building the
because
case
of what I
against
see around me and
Sony
shit, right? So, you know, I know I see things
and
differently from my
YouTube.
perspective, right? So I'm not, you know, when I got
We all have
traveled,
our own perspective. Yeah, we
right,
all have
I
our
seen
own.
a different perspective,
And they
right?
got
When
a
I
lot of
traveled, I seen a
money.
different perspective. But for the most part, it looked like in a lot of places, it's a 50-50 shot. You feel me? On whether or not the people around you have already taken whatever that is, right? So are they going to be able to hold these mandates up? And, you know, they lost in every court but one. I'm not sure what court that was that won. But that one court that won, they're going to implement that shit on the people in that city. You feel me? It's already coming. And we're seeing a lot of pushback all over, right? And there's a lot of people that see the
Again, but we also have to pay attention. I'm glad you said that. There's going to be cities or little pockets that approve this shit, right? And those are going to be the judges that expose themselves for being a part of that deep state.
Bingo.
You see how it works? This is why I said they have to continue to allow these people to expose themselves for who they really are. What side are you really on? We're all choosing a side right now in life, right? Like, so, you know what I mean? Because that's the state of life that we're in this universe right now. Like, we all choosing a side, good or bad. Like, that's where we at right now. So, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people are confused in their choice. And that's what it comes down to. A lot of people are pressured into their choice. Like, we can't even be, like, the funny thing is, right, we can't even be held accountable in a court of law for a guilty plea if that guilty plea was coerced out of us. You see what I'm saying?
Word.
Or if it was threatened into us or anything like that. So, you know, at the end of the day, what is taking place with these vaccines is the same thing. It's the same thing. And this is why Nasara Jasara is so important. Because, again, I'm going to say it again. People can feel however they want to feel. It's just my opinion. I firmly believe that the shit that is being shown now is only being shown for the shit that these motherfuckers have already been murdered for already. Dead already. Dead already. That's my personal opinion. Dead already. And only thing that's happening now is in an extremely fast time, in a calendar year, we've received more information and more leaks that expose everything that we talk about here at A&N.
Oh my God, absolutely.
In one calendar year. And in that year, it's been because Donald Trump's been gone. So why is it now that when he signs the laws about sex trafficking on the way out, do we start getting all of this information?
Damn.
Why does all of this shit start happening? Why was COVID so necessary? Why was he able to utilize COVID, especially in New York and around the world, to, you know, pull so many children from up out of tunnels? We saw all of this shit happen in real time. So why was that able to happen? What did he spend his time doing toward the end of his presidency that was important? That was saving them babies. You know what I'm saying? Now, while Biden came in and he switched all of them, you know, he started reversing mad bills, you know, the Paris climate accord, whatever the fuck that shit is. You know what I'm saying? Like, reversing all of these bills. You notice he didn't reverse none of those shits that had to do with child trafficking or none of that shit. And you would think that if he was really president, to save his own ass, he would have reversed some shit like that. But he didn't. They reversed enough bills to get people triggered. They put enough of that shit on TV to show you how these politicians were really getting in office and making up these fucking bills to fit their own fucking narratives. Whether it's that California bill trying to lower the legal age of sexual consent to fucking 14 years old or 11, whatever the fuck it was. You understand what I'm saying? All of these things are being exposed to show how these niggas been moving bills the whole time. And Biden is the face of their fuckery. Unfortunately for him.
Some of them started to change. Before you move on, you remember when I found that out like a month ago, it was like a month and a half ago, right? Where it was like 300,000 child marriages between 2010 and 2020.
Yep.
You feel me? Massachusetts, it was 12. Maryland is 14. It's a lot of states that was like 14, bro. That shit crazy, you feel me? But you could use a religious exemption to do that. But now you're saying you can't use a religious exemption to try to get from under this shit. So you feel me? That's like the blatant shit. That's so crazy. You think about that, you feel me? Like, come on, bro.
Well, when we're talking about the adversary, right? That's an extraction of religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs, right? And you know the accusations is that, you know, it turns off, you know, the God gene, so to speak, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at certain things and how they try and gear the public toward certain shit, I mean, it's very fucking clear.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That had taken place, bro. I ain't going to deny that. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen so much information in the past few years, that shit done shook my whole like reality, bro. Well, I really had to read this shit and study this shit. Like, feel me? That was why I could write books up, the top. I'm reading them shits all the time. I mean, that's why I'm so passionate about this one topic, bro. Because I feel like that's the puzzle piece that's missing from a lot of people. But most people just not willing to take that step out of that box they've been placed in to think about health and you feel me to think about disease in general in another way other than what they've been taught by the mainstream.
I'm gonna play this clip real quick and then we're gonna get into some. This is only like 15 seconds, but
playing that. You're playing right into their hands when you sort of like, oh, the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't be forced to take it. No mandates, but take credit because we saved tens of millions of lives.
That's very important. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't have to take it. And to offer therapeutics in itself, right? To say the word therapeutics alone should be suicide on that stage for him. When the mainstream media never mentions a word about therapeutics, the fact that he said therapeutics, somebody should have an issue with that, right? Vaxxers would have an issue with the fact that he said therapeutics.
Word.
You see what I'm saying? So no matter what side of the spectrum you fall on, you could either find issue or find joy in what he said. He's a fucking politician. He's supposed to speak to the people.
Of course. But I feel like at this juncture, however many years we're into this shit, what, 2? We're going into the 3rd year, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. You feel me? I feel like that shit already sunk in.
But he said it was bullshit from the beginning.
Right. But most people, right, they either believe A, it was leaked from a lab, or B, it just occurred naturally. Most people believe either one of the two, and it's real to them. They either caught it, you feel me? That's how I hear everybody talk. Like, I caught this shit. So, or even if they didn't get it, you feel me? I see if you're talking about the vaccine playing right into their hands. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
No, I don't think that's what he meant by that. I think what he was saying is if we allow them to take credit for it, then we're playing into their hands. And that goes back to what I said about if they had gotten their hands on it, what their intentions were. And we saw what their intentions were with Event 201, and Agenda 2030. So, I think that's what he meant by that. That was my take from it. Doesn't mean that I'm right, but that's just how I took. You know what I'm saying? That's what my discernment led me to in that statement. You dig what I'm saying? And it's not because I put faith in him. It's because I just listen very intently to what the fuck people say and how they say it. And if I study this man over, the last 5 years from when he became president till now, and understanding that a lot of shit that he said was in code and there was a lot of shit that was hidden in what he said, as to be able to speak to the masses while still letting the people who understood understand. You see what I'm saying? So I think that, yes, there is a balance of both. I agree with you. I am waiting for the day where motherfuckers just come out and be like, blah, 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 right? But unfortunately, we sit here and have arguments with people on stereo alone. What do you think that the world is ready for, bro? All right, so how many people put that shit into their arms, dog? You understand what I'm saying? Where if he came out and said, yo, you killing yourself on national TV, what would happen? So we have to be realistic at the same time of our expectations of certain shit, too. Like, you dig what I'm saying? Like, we can't just, because it's what we want to hear, because we know what it's hitting for, because we so far ahead of the curve. You dig what I'm saying? We can't expect everybody to be where we at. And that's the purpose of our platform. That's the purpose of this very conversation. So we can break something down like that interview. You know what I'm saying? So we can all sit here and have a perspective. It's not so anyone could take mine or yours. It's so people could have their own. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I ain't telling nobody to believe what I believe or,
We never do. We never do. But let's pop some bubblicious.
Yeah, let's pop these messages.
Lady B.
Grand evening to you, Mr. Bliss. How are you? Grand evening to you, Mr. Meatballs. How are you? Also, grand evening to all the ladies and gentlemen inside the chamber. I'll be quietly sitting off in the corner listening into the topic of discussion that will be conducted inside the CNN chamber. And if I am compelled to speak at any given point in time, you'll definitely hear from me.
I told you.
Much love, Lady B, and I see we got you already. That's a good thing.
Also, another point I'd like to actually bring to the table as well. This is all optics. He has to, quote, push it, because here's the thing. Now, Mr. Bliss, this is my assessment. If, for whatever reason, if he were to turn on the vaccine, because think about how they've been pushing this thing. Everything, the warp speed, all of that would automatically fall at his feet, and they would automatically vilify him for it.
Yep.
See the thing, this is why I kind of look at it as more of like an art of war, and it's like he has to still keep that appearance and remain neutral. Because remember, he's not in the White House. And keep in mind, this is still a movie as well.
Real shit, Lady B.
I agree with that so much. I want to say something. I'm gonna remember that. Let's go. I'm gonna remember that.
All right.
Also, who's to say that the quote vaccines, quote unquote, that he was putting out or was putting together, who's to say those were the actual therapeutics that it had the hydrochloroquine and the ivermectin? And that's a completely different vaccine than the ones Biden and his minions are putting out. Now, again, I'm not saying that is a direct truth, but I'm just saying if he's promoting therapeutics, why is he going to promote something that's going to kill somebody if all he's been doing has been basically been putting out therapeutics, ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, so on and so forth? Just a thought.
Good thought.
Rice.
Hey, Bliss, I want you to do something for me. I want you to see why Donald Trump ran for president, who actually urged him on. Now, I'm not going to say Bill Clinton told him to run for president, but he told him that he should become more involved in politics. And that was slightly before he announced that he was running for president. So I think they was kind of in cahoots with it, and I think he was supposed to throw it, and he did. And it jumbled up a bunch of stuff.
Well, I mean, again, of course, they were telling him to get into politics, but they didn't expect him to be in presidency. They expected him to get into politics, and of course, even if it was the presidency, they expected it to be in a spot where they would be able to control him. But they knew long before he ever announced that he was going to run for president that they could not control him. And Hillary Clinton, like I said, was quoted as saying that. He was quoted as saying if he ever ran for president, it would be as a Republican.
Bill.
That right there is a sign in itself, because he understood what the Democratic Party was really all about, along with a lot of Republicans. You understand what I'm saying to you? So at the end of the day, what we're looking at now is, again, we can say that he was one of them. Say he was one of them. Fine. He was one of them. Even if I agree with that. Even if I agree with that 1,000%, right?
He was the uncontrollable one.
We see these entertainers and shit go through shit where they start to fight for their spirit, where they start to fight for their soul, and start doing what's right. You see DMX, you see Cat Williams, you see all of these people start to expose shit for what it's really hitting for. Donald Trump knew long before. I want to point out, as you point out, who encouraged him to run for president. I mean, let's be honest, Donald Trump would have never ran for president if John F. Kennedy Jr. didn't allegedly die in that plane crash. John F. Kennedy Jr. would have been lined up in that seat to run for president. So let me point that out real quick. And as I talk about John F. Kennedy Jr., let's point out that John F. Kennedy Jr.'s best friend was Donald fucking Trump. So the same person that Hillary Clinton wanted to kill for her Senate seat
died.
that allegedly faked his own death because he was aware of that plot on his life, had to remove himself from the game. Along comes his best fucking friend to continue on what needed to be continued on for the white hats or the good guys, since people don't like these conspiratorial terms. But that was his best friend. That's well documented. John F. Kennedy Jr. was his best friend. So he spent all of these years being best friends with somebody who these people supposedly blew his father's brains out. I don't think so. I don't think so. Lady B.
Also, another.
My bad, go ahead.
No, I said that's deep. That's deep. You know, I hear everything you're saying, man. That shit definitely.
Yo, I tell everybody, yo, go watch the movie 6 Underground with Ryan Reynolds. Watch the movie 6 Underground with Ryan Reynolds. And in that movie, Ryan Reynolds plays a billionaire who fakes his own death in a plane crash and then puts together these group of individuals to take down this evil regime and restore society to its proper order. Movie's dope as fuck, too. Mad action, the movie is dope as fuck. But when you see life the way we see it and we're experiencing what we're experiencing right now, you know what I mean? That movie's deep as fuck. And you can literally see how that shit is John Kennedy Jr. as a fucking whole when you look at it. And the people that he recruited is like one from the CIA, one from the FBI, one that was in the military. So all of these different branches. Matter of fact, they got a new movie coming out called 355 with all of these women from all of these different branches of government that are fighting evil, like fighting like evil regime worldwide, like one collective evil group worldwide.
But that feminist.
Word up, like the shit is dope though, like, but it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I fuck with the movies. Oh yeah.
But Lady B.
Also, another thing I also want to bring up to the table too, and I need to make this clear. A lot of some of your mainstream conservative talking heads and even some of your conservative social media influencers with big accounts, they're all turning on Trump, and this has been going on in the last several days now. And it's almost like not all of them, but a good number of them, they all turned on this man like in the blink of an eye. And so now we're going to start seeing the controlled opposition that's now being exposed as well. And now I'm not saying this is definitive. I cannot confirm, but there's been rumors been circulating that a number of those social media influencers and those conservative mainstream talking heads, that they were all paid off by the Mossad. Now, how true that is, we do not.
Yeah, see, that's what I see. I see that. I see a lot of influence, you know, from like, you know, the Zionists, the globalists that really wanted to push this into policing in the first place, right? And the whole time you were saying that, bro, you was breaking that shit down. It just made me think of the fucking Illuminati card deck for some fucking reason, bro. And I don't know why, but you feel me, that picture that where Trump was on there, you feel me, and Obama and all the presidents and shit, and the Simpsons and shit, where they predicted it. It's like, yo, these motherfucking elite, yo, they gonna throw the character in our face that's gonna, you know, wake us up, you know, the most and shit, right? And like, what the fuck is they really doing? Is they just getting data on everybody and shit with all these apps and really seeing what side we stand and shit? Like, so only time to tell, man, is if the mandates will stick, you feel me? So, but yeah, bro, I feel like it's all a movie, yeah? It is all a fucking movie. And the character that woke us up the most to all of this fuck shit, all this bullshit, was somebody that they had planned all along. And is we really going to take that look in the mirror and see like, yo, none of this shit is real, bro. None of this shit is real. They've been fucking with us the whole time, bro. All this shit is based off lies. And it's by our consent when we participate in this shit, right? Like, we take our kids to go get them shits all the time, right? Because we just thought that shit was like, you feel me, just something normal, like a normal practice, right? Like everybody does it. It never hurt us. You feel me? Before, why would it hurt us now? You feel me? But it's waking, it's awoken so many people to the bigger picture to look back and be like, yo, they've been fucking with us for a long time. You feel me? Now, everybody ain't go back as far, like you're saying, right? So, you know, only time will tell, because is everybody going to wake up in time? It's sort of like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Which one you
Well,
got?
I think who's going to be awake is going to be awake.
Which
Right.
one you
Dealing
got?
with I'm squealing, and whoever's not, like, it just is what it is. And I think, but see, I think that's spiritually, I think that's a very important point. As for the free will, the choice to be there.
Right.
Do you want to accept the mark of the beast, or do you not?
Because they definitely throwing it right now.
The choice has to be there. The choice has to remain.
Mm-hmm.
Choice has to remain. But let's keep up.
Yeah.
The real legal question is, if my shot is intended on the safety of the public and my coworkers, is it not considered PPL? Like, is it not considered safety gear? And if it is, I choose not to wear safety gear when I'm at my own home. So don't you have to pay me for 24 hours of the day? Because that would be the legal way to handle it. If you require me to wear your safety gear that I do not want to get 24 hours a day, should I in fact get paid?
I didn't know you had to put gear on the inside of your body. But shit, that's some interesting ass safety gear. I ain't gonna lie, bro. PPE supposed to go on the outside, not the inside. Don't they say do not ingest? Ain't no way, though. Ain't no way. But see, that's my whole thing, bro. Is I don't even think we should be, they shouldn't even be asking us this question. You feel me? That's what really need to be. That's the real conversation.
Dang, that was a powerful, powerful statement. That was.
Because here's the other thing too. And I have to go back to 2016 and Hillary Clinton, because like I said, she was supposed to be the mop-up girl. She was supposed to be the cleanup girl. Now, had she been in that White House from 2016 up to now, all of us were sitting ducks. Let's keep it a whole yardstick. We would all be in some kind of a camp right now. We would all be in camps. We would all be rounded up. And that's the straight up truth of it. So for Trump to be in there, he thwarted that. Not only did he thwart that shit, he also dismantled the corporation on top of it. And this is what a lot of people seem to always miss.
I ain't gonna lie, I might be one of them people sometimes, yeah. I might be one of them people sometimes, man. I'm just so passionate about this, you know, this whole shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I don't think these innocent children can get that. You feel me? That shit hurt me every time they push that shit, man. Like, but nah, I definitely agree with what Lady B said, yeah. Like, that's true. That's true. I admit that. If all that shit wasn't said, oh, we'd have been fucking snatched up, bro. That shit would have
been snatched up. We'd have been in, every Walmart would have been closed, my nigga. Every Walmart would have been closed, my nigga. And I would have been at the one 5 minutes from my crib, nigga. You would have been at the one 5 minutes from yours.
Word. That's facts, bro.
Well, I let me rephrase that. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I'd be dead as a motherfucker, because I'm shooting back. That's just me. I don't know.
Right.
I ain't going out like no spineless jellyfish.
That's why I keep saying, bro, only time will tell, right? Because it's really if they able to, you know, affect us, how we really got to go about our life. Right?
And that's what it comes down to, though.
Come down to. So, you know, hey, that's why we keep pushing, baby. You already know.
Yo, I'm watching niggas at my job. Like, yo, niggas is sick for the 5th time.
Word.
And they jabbed up. I'm out here whistling. And
they don't know why,
you know
bro.
Saying?
They ain't got the slightest. I think they like.
Well, they think it's because I'm unvaxxed.
Right. They just like being home, bro. They lazy, bro.
But I ain't sick. So wait a minute. Oh, because I'm asymptomatic, right? I forgot. My fault. I don't feel sick,
Right.
but I'm making you sick.
I'm so tired of hearing that.
You gotta die.
Bro, let me tell you the most ridiculous shit I heard the other day at work, right? I'm telling you, I had these conversations a lot, bro. It's always somebody asks me about a fucking mask because I don't wear one. You feel me? So, Yo told me, he told me, you know, why I ain't got my mask on, whatever. He was, you feel me? He at risk and shit. I'm like, look, you know, you could wear, you got your mask on. You had 3-4 vaccines if you like, you know what I mean? Like, they gave you a lot of stuff to protect you from something that's, you know, survivable, right? I'm not sick. I'm good. There ain't a sniffle going on. I'm in peak condition, right? Now you ain't got to worry. I'm not sick, and I'm not gonna make you sick. You feel me? So then he tried to teach me. He said he was a biologist, right? Hey, just randomly use a motherfucker. Okay, all right, I'm gonna listen to you. So he said, COVID come out your ears, your nose, your eyes, your mouth, and every hole in your body. So you know you should put your mask on. I said, bro.
So why we ain't got earplugs?
That's what I said, bro. Well, why you don't pull your mask over your eyes and cover your ears up, bro? Like, come on now, bro. You really think? Yeah, I swear somebody said that to me the other day, bro. That's the type of wild shit I like. There's just the oblivion of people, bro. It's amazing. I run into that shit so often, bro.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, I wish I could report this shit, bro. Like,
that's nutty. Let's be popping.
Let's go.
Short stroke.
Going on, Mr. Bliss, meatballs. What y'all doing on here tonight, Christmas Eve? Hope your family's enjoying it. How can we all your family doing? Yeah.
Hey, man, we just chilling. Just cooling out, short bro.
We with the family every day.
Word. Cooling, man.
But just cooling. If you celebrate, you know, happy holidays. You celebrate.
Yes, sir. Void. Okay.
I absolutely get where you're coming from, Meatballs. We all are exhausted. We all are suffering some type of post-traumatic stress disorder.
Word.
And it's emotionally charged. It's part of the Cold War that William Cooper, the psychological wars that they put on us.
Damn.
They trigger me some lie.
A lot of times suffering from that, it aggravates you and keep you from seeing beyond the veil. I'm tired too. And we all need to figure out a way of decompressing and recharging. I feel you.
I'm about to roll a blunt. That's what I do.
Chip.
That's what I do.
Fly high.
God.
You may sign that vaccine form that gets the pharma out of legal responsibility for anything that should happen to you. However, if you're required by your boss to get that shot, you can go to them and have them sign a contract that says they take on legal liability if anything should happen to you, because that is not covered. So that's what they fail to realize. That's why these bosses aren't fighting, because they don't realize that they can be held accountable for making you get that shot. It does not fall on the government as immediate as it falls on them. So they then will become held accountable. And sure, could they get rid of you? Some states they can't. My state they can't because we're right to work. But however, they need to understand that I can now come at you legally, because though the government has given themselves a safety net to an extent, which I still think we could sue this president and Fauci, because they're forcing us to do something that's not constitutional.
Exactly. Oh, shit.
Man.
All right, that's facts, huh?
Who's that guy?
Okay. What we got here? Let's go with Gail.
Bliss, meatballs. This is Gail Horseland, checking in, chilling in the cut. Checking out, seeing what you two are talking about tonight. Top of the evening, gentlemen. Much love, peace and blessings.
You know us, Gail. We just in here working, being us, man. Doing the usual two-step, man. Doing the usual two-step. Let's hear from Gail again.
No partiality. Absolutely, Lady Bomber. All optics. And however it has to play out, that's not something that we have to deal with as it relates to deception, because it depends on that person and their relationship with their higher power and how things all pan out. But people have to get a grip on the optics. Absolutely. Pertaining to the optics.
Big facts.
Agreed.
My thing is, as it relates to everything else, Trump said that he was taking hydroxychloroquine way back in April, May.
Yeah.
Of 2020. I mean, I don't know if people remember that, but he did say that. And later on, when he went to Walter Reed Hospital, he was treated with ivermectin, was it? I think. Now, he did go on to say that he was vaccinated. But see, we have to also understand that optics is real. There's so many things that have been said, and as it relates to them and their immediate salvation and how they deal with their position as it relates to the authority they've been given, let the chips fall where they may and hold the line.
All right.
Yeah, just can't make it up. Just can't make it up. A&N, you just can't make it up.
My bad. I was plugging my equipment back up. One more from Gil. If I stop fucking missing.
Was that in 2019, Wabe, 6 Underground? Is that what I need to look at?
Yes, and it is Jave, Gail. If you are going to say my government name on stereo, Jave, not Wave, Jave. But I prefer you called me Bliss. Because, if I wanted everyone to know my government name, I would put it on here.
Jave.
I think the Conservative Party is turning against Trump right now because they don't know what's going to come out of this Maxwell trial other than the fact that he told everybody that he only took one plane flight with Epstein, and now it turns out that he took several, and that's on those logs. So I think people are trying to play it safe, which is really stupid. Playing it safe is just pussy shit.
Actually, he didn't say he took anything. That flight log said he took one flight. And we went through that shit extensively. So that flight log
say he took 7. It was some more documents or something. I'll try something.
I bet there is. Did you see what I'm saying? Well, let me ask you this question, right? Okay, let me ask you this question.
I'm just saying.
I got you, but I'm just saying, in all fairness, let me ask you this question. This is a man that they tried to impeach. We were reading these flight logs before they attempted to impeach him the second time. If they wanted to impeach him, they could have used this. Why did they not use that? Why did they never mention Trump with Epstein at any other time until now?
Right.
That's alarming to me. That just raises a red flag. Now, I'm not saying he didn't take several. I'm just saying, if I wanted to get rid of this motherfucker,
they running out of pawns. That's what they doing. See, we playing chess. They running out of pawns.
Right.
Them ain't even nice no more.
They could be with a.
You know what I'm saying?
And then, yeah. Like, why y'all wasn't talking about it back then?
So is this controlled media saying that? Or did he really take several? Because the initial flight records we got, that we went over, that we've been reporting on for a year, that they just, put into court or whatever the case may be, it had one flight. So I'm confused as to how there's more now, and where was this documentation And why was that documentation not a part of this court case? Because that's very important, no?
Right.
But you also know how I feel about Epstein and Maxwell, bro. Like, I feel like she was the head of this shit the entire time, and I feel like that nigga was an agent who was put in charge to take all these motherfuckers down, bro. He was a pedophile himself, and the best way to infiltrate shit is to infiltrate it with one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, I feel you. Oh, yeah.
Huh? Triple deuce.
What it do, what it do? It's your girl 222-raw.raw-222 in the building. What is up, Bliss? What is up, Meatball? Definitely here for this. Is this another truth serum session? Are people up for their boosters right now or what? To get vaccinated? Because we have some well-qualified practitioners up in here.
That's on Monday. That's on Monday's trip. Come on, stick with us. Today's Friday, mama. Today's Friday. Strange truths, man. Strange truths. You the one that do the schedule. You the one. You the one.
Yep, coin.
Bow! Shut your little ass up. Matter of fact, here.
Not everybody is going to awake at the same time. It's going to have to, for people to, everybody's going to wake up in their own time. And it usually has to take a major trigger point in order for them to really snap out of it. Now, what that trigger point is, it depends on that person's journey, their life's path, and even also based on some of the decisions that they may have made down the road and how intact their belief systems are. And if they're so intact to the point that they may not even see it, then yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But everybody is going to have that one key trigger point that's going to really snap them out of it and see the bigger picture for what it is.
All right. This is what we're going to do, bro. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Because I'm really feeling like, all right, look, first and foremost, bro, we've already reported, again, extensively on the Black Book and everybody that was in it. And when I say everybody that was in it, I mean everybody that was in it.
And everybody.
So, again, why is this important now? Why was it not important then? And why is Donald Trump's name the only name of fucking significance to anybody right now, yo? That's alarming to me. That's alarming to me. So all of this time, we're going to skip over all of these other fucking names. We're going to skip over all of the shit that's in these flight logs. How do you know what these people are into if you're not in that Black Book? How do you know? How do you know? Not you, I'm just saying in general. Because I'm watching certain things that I follow on social media now, where it seems like there's a witch hunt in every post. Like they say that they're about saving the children, but every post is just like a slap toward Donald Trump because it's what's trending. So do you see what people do? They use shit as clickbait. You dig what I'm saying to you? And you're not even talking about what the real issue is. You'll have seven Donald Trump posts, and then you'll have one about babies. Like, then you're not a child trafficking page anymore. Like, you seem like controlled opposition to me now. And I'm sitting there literally having conversations with people in the comment section like, yo, bro, you feeling that too lately? Yeah, I am feeling that lately. Like, you can kind of see it. Because it's like, what's your angle? If this is your purpose, then this is your purpose. Like,
right.
And I can't see somebody having that level of a passion with having that big of a heart on for one individual with all of these names in this book. And you ain't mentioning LeBron. You ain't mentioning Cappy Pondexter. You're not mentioning the Latham case. You're not mentioning none of that shit that really, really brings a light to what's going on. You're just having conversations about Donald Trump. Do you see why that's a problem for what's really taking place right now for me? Whether he is involved or isn't, to me, one person's name being involved in a fucking well-orchestrated scheme is minuscule. You can give me any one famous person's name, and it's minuscule. Just like when we were saying Obama's the whole time, the Bushes, the Clintons this whole time, Why is it important now? Okay, so now I get it.
Right.
Now I get it. Everybody's willing to accept all the dirty shit that these motherfuckers have been doing all of this time, only if Trump is guilty too. If Trump is guilty too, then we can fry, die, and lay to the side every single one of them. And that'll be okay, right? As long as he's guilty too. And I guess that's how they feeling too, right? If you the other side, fuck it. If I'm going down, you coming down with me. You know what I'm saying? You ever play hide and seek with your cousin or some shit, and then niggas find them, and they be like, all right, meatballs, you can come out now. They caught us. No, nigga, they caught you. They caught you, nigga.
Correct.
But now you told where I was. You feel what I'm saying to you? So, fuck it. If I'm going down, you coming down with me. There's a lot of different variables, a lot of different narratives. You see what I'm saying? But that comes down to an individual's discernment. You dig? Like, not mine or yours. I just paint all of these different scenarios so people can sit with them and let whatever resonates with them resonate with them. But I guarantee you it's a lot more than any one of us see as one individual, which is why these conversations are so important. Whether we are agreeing or disagreeing, if one piece is leading to another piece or whatever the case may be, that's the importance of it. You know what I mean?
Just build.
All right, man, here we go.
That's my son.
I don't really like this dude anyway. Come in, don't say shit, and then just start throwing fucking snowballs. You can get out. I don't like him anyway. Fake as fuck.
I feel it. I feel everything you said, bro.
But yeah, man, I mean, everybody got a perspective, bro, and we all welcome to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's keep popping.
And the skin is the third lung. Yeah, and you're right, Bliss. They're blaming us, you know. And they flushed asymptomatic, you know. They flushed it. But they should have kept that thing moving. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. You know, but we never had COVID. Never took the vaccine. But we're shedding because we got that thing from them, and then we are supposed to be giving it to them. Yeah, okay, make that make sense. Really? Well.
One more from Gil.
Absolutely. Behold the pale horse. Get it, read it. Chapter 15 is missing. Make sure you download it because there's a lot in that chapter and they left it out of the book if you get a new version of it. Behold the pale horse. Absolutely. William Cooper.
It's a great book.
Real shit. Got it.
Brass tacks. It's time for Americans to start calling whomever they need to call, because it's time for Fauci to answer to the American public what, not what, who and how many, because I can tell you it's hundreds of little children, little orphan children. Who is in that Heaven's Gate cemetery, Fauci? Who is in that cemetery? You took all these little fucking orphan kids
Mother Teresa.
and you experimented on them medically. We're talking about kids from the inner city of America, you know, of every kind of race, but mostly inner city kids. You fucking experimented on them and you dumped them in a graveyard. You start asking them what's in the Heaven's Gate cemetery and hold him accountable for that. We have an actual but metaphorical prison guard from Dachau concentration camp as the head of our medical studies. That's crazy. That's crazy. You would never put a Nazi in there. Why would you put him in there?
Well, technically, they did put that. If you want to be technical, I mean, it kind of did. Look at what the fuck we watching. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's under your thing. Can I keep calling you Bliss? I'd rather call you Bliss. Can I call you Bliss? The Jive. I'm sorry.